Bonjour à tous, vous êtes sur The Likez et pour cette nouvelle vidéo, je reçois encore un invité incroyable, un invité de poids. Vous l'avez vu et aperçu dans les plus gros blockbusters d'action à Hollywood. Si je vous dis Justice League, 300, Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Thor, Iron Man 2, Underworld, Star Wars et à la télé le Mandalorian, Banshee, L'Arme Fatale, enfin bref, sa carrière est longue comme l'autoroute du soleil. Bien entendu, il s'agit de la légende Richard Cetrone qui revient sur sa carrière de cascadeur, de chorégraphe de combat et d'acteur avec des anecdotes incroyables. Et pour m'accompagner, j'ai fait appel au plus dirty des youtubeurs. Et oui, vous l'avez deviné, Dirty Tommy est avec moi tout au long de cette vidéo. Et vous le savez déjà, mais si vous voulez toujours plus d'exclusivité sur The Likez, c'est bien, abonnez-vous à la chaîne, soutenez la chaîne. N'oubliez pas d'activer la petite cloche, mettez-moi un petit pouce bleu. Vous savez que j'aime vous lire et que je réponds à tous vos commentaires. Encore un grand merci à tous et merci à tous les abonnés de la chaîne. N'oubliez pas qu'il y a des lives toutes les 2 semaines avec plein de cadeaux à gagner. Continuez d'aller au cinéma. Quant à moi, je vous souhaite de passer un excellent moment sur The Likez. Hey, Richard.
Hey, John. Sorry I'm late.
No problem. How are you, sir? Good?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fine. Did you hear me well? Everything works fine on your side?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
And this is a nice dog you have it here. What's his name?
His name's Vader.
Oh, Vader?
Yeah, yeah.
That's nice. It is nice to have you on the show. I'm honored, really. You look great. You look amazing. How are you? How are you? Tell me, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks. Yeah, everything's good. Thanks. It's nice to be here.
You know, Richard, I'm gonna introduce you to the French audience. You know, because this is a real fan base we're talking about right now. You know, you're a stunt, you're an actor, a fight coordinator, choreographer. You've been in a lot of movies, like, I mean, really big movies like Army of the Dead, as ZEUS, Batman v Superman, Justice League, Iron Man 2, Thor, 300, Underworld franchise, a lot of movies. And in TV show, The Mandalorian, Banshee, Lethal Weapon, you always stood up as great character, like iconic in the pop culture. Like you stood up as Batman, Iron Man, werewolves, zombie, warriors. This is insane. And the iconic, you know, Daddy of Mars, you know, of course, everyone remembers you in the big villain in John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars. No. So, Richard, I was thinking, you know, you have to be ready all the time, you know, because who knows what you're going to do next, or what amazing character you will be able to play. You must be on top of it. Do you rest sometimes, Richard?
Yeah, I do. As I've gotten older, I realize I have to rest a little more than maybe when I was younger. But I always stay in real good shape. Like I'm never really out of shape, you know, because you're right. I mean, jobs just pop up out of nowhere. You know, and sometimes you'll get months advance, sometimes you'll get weeks, sometimes you get a day advance notice, you know, so you have to be prepared.
So sometimes they call you on a short notice, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's insane.
Like we need you tomorrow. Can you fly out to, you know, Georgia tomorrow, you know, so yeah, it happens.
That's insane because, you know, I saw a post on Instagram for Army of the Dead. The post you made, like you were shredded, like sharp, ripped as hell. But at the end, they put silicone on your body and your work was covered with, you know, prosthetics all over. And I guess it's not easy to get in shape like you are. Because if you allow me, only if you allow me, Richard, I would like to remind the people the age you have. Can I tell them?
Sure, go ahead.
You're almost 60 years old. That's amazing. And you definitely don't look like a 60 years old guy. So you're athletic. How it is to stay in shape and eventually be ready for whatever comes next, like you said.
You know, I mean, I'm really, I'm fortunate. I was blessed with good genetics from my grandfather and my father. You know, we just have that youthful gene that, you know, I don't know, we age slower. I don't know what it is. But you know, it's a combination of that. And it's a combination of, I've always trained, you know, pretty much my entire life. I've always done something physical, some type of training. And it's just, it helps out. It's like money in the bank. You know, when you get older and you need it, and your body, you know, needs that strength, you know, you have it, you know. So I think it's a good thing for anyone to do that, you know, that is younger, older, just, you know, if you can stay in shape, you can fight off disease easier, you know, and I think it's just a way to go, because you know, your body's, it's what we have while we're here on this planet, right? We got to take care of it.
Yeah, you're right. As you know, we had Samantha Wynn on the show. She's amazing. She's lovely and very talented girl. And me and Samantha, we have this thing in common. Like we did Kung Fu, and I did practice Kung Fu a lot when I was younger. But now I'm more in boxing. And because you just told me before about your grandfather, and we have a thing in common. Like I want to tell you, because I saw on your Instagram a beautiful, nice picture of your grandfather doing a boxing. If you allow me, this is it. This is your grandfather, right?
That's him.
Like I told you, I practice boxing myself for a year now, and I found out later, actually not too long ago, that my grandfather was a fighter, was a boxer too.
Oh wow!
And I found this picture of my grandfather.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it reminds me yours. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's fun to see how we can be the same with our family members sometimes. That's insane, right?
Right. Yeah, that's really great. That's something to cherish, you know? I mean, that's, you know, that picture is one of my most prized possessions, you know, because it tells you, you know, a lot about, you know, your roots and, you know, where you come from. It's a very cool thing.
Yeah, it is. It is actually. You know, Richard, I have a co-host with me. He's in the room right now. He have a big YouTube channel in France. He's actually a big YouTuber, French YouTuber. He did a lot of review. He's a Zack Snyder fan, but he's fan of cinemas and movies. His name is Dirty Tommy, and he's gonna join us to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
It's okay? Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, salut Tommy.
Hey, salut Johnny. Hi, Richard.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, thank you.
Good.
Vas-y Tommy, tu peux y aller.
Ok, ça marche. Alors donc Richard, il y a beaucoup de gens qui comparent Army of the Dead à Ghost of Mars. Et vous avez joué dans les deux. Est-ce que vous trouvez d'abord que c'est une comparaison pertinente? Et dans un deuxième temps, est-ce que vous pouvez nous dire la différence de travail entre John Carpenter et Zack Snyder sur les films?
Yeah. Tommy asked, you know, a lot of people put Ghost of Mars and Army of the Dead in perspective, like they make a comparison, you know?
Yeah.
Did you think it's relevant? And what is the difference, you know, with working with John Carpenter at some point and Zack Snyder?
Wow, that's a good question. It's funny because when I first read Army of the Dead, I thought, oh my gosh, this is a lot. This reminds me of the Big Daddy Mars character a little bit. You know, there was definitely a lot they had in common. They were both leaders of their people, you know, that thought that, in my opinion, thought that they were doing right for their people. Like, so they weren't, like, I don't look at myself as the bad guy as ZEUS. You know, I actually look at myself as the good guy, you know, because he's just trying to build his kingdom. He's not bothering anyone. You know, they come in and they bother him, and I looked at both characters very similarly. And as far as Zack and John, I didn't really get to work with John when he was, you know, when he was hard charging in like the middle of his career. That was the last movie he directed, you know, so it's a little bit different comparison. But the thing that I noticed the similarities is they both know exactly what they want. They both have a vision, and they know exactly what they want from their actors and their stunt performers. And that makes it really easy to work for a person like that. Because, you know, when the director can tell you what they want, then, you know, you can give it to them, and then you can give them some choices of something a little bit different, you know, just give them some choices. But I really like it when the person I'm working for knows what they want and they can convey it to me. But I mean, they're both, to me, they're both legendary directors. And I mean, they both put out some great work. John's really easygoing on set, and Zach's the same way. Zach's really easygoing, you know, and Zach likes to have fun, and he likes to make things fun for the cast and for the crew. And that's one of the reasons you get so much, the actors and crew people that Zach works with are so loyal to him. And he gets so much respect from them, because he fosters an environment that is so nice to work in and so pleasant, you know, and not every director does that, you know, and it's just not every director's style, you know. So it's really nice to work for him. And I think you'll see people that have worked for Zach have a lot, they have a lot of respect for him and admiration. And I think that's one of the reasons why, besides being a great director and great visionary. And I think they're both great directors and great visionaries.
Oh, they definitely are. And, you know, because you told me like how much people love to work with Zach, you know, because on this show we had Patrick Tatopoulos. You know him, right?
Yes, I know Patrick. Yeah,
Patrick, he's an amazing guy. He's a friend of mine, and I just love him. We had also, you know, Gerard Marens. He did, you know, the bat suit that I can see just behind you right now.
Yeah.
And actually, he told us about you. Like one time he was in London on the set. The first time he saw Batman, you know, enter the room. And it was you, Ben Affleck stunt, that it is you, right?
Yeah.
He just told us like, you know, for the first time of my life, Batman is in the room. And that was crazy, you know.
And he put on the bat suit right in front of me. You know, for the first time in my life, you know, like Batman's in the room, you know, it got, you know, it was like,
yeah, everyone who worked for Zack Snyder was just like in admiration for his work, you know, like he's a complete visionary. And I guess it's the same thing for Mr. John Carpenter, because we love him also. I have a question for you, Richard. You know, after all these years, you know, as a stunt, did you want to stick with it, or maybe now you would like to do more acting stuff?
Yeah, I think I may do a little more. You know, I can't perform forever. You know, I'm just, the body takes so much. And I did tell myself at one point in my career, I said, you know, I'm going to perform till I'm 60. You know, if I can do that, I'll be pretty happy. But, you know, I'm going to be 60 in another month. And I just feel like I still feel pretty good. My spine's pretty screwed up, but besides that, I feel pretty good. So I'm going to kind of play it by ear. And I think I'm going to have to be a little more choosy about what jobs I take, you know, from now on. I got to protect my body a little more. But I think that's a good possibility that I may transfer into a little more acting than stunts, possibly. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm really, you know, I'm just enjoying life now, and I'm just taking it as it comes. I'm not really searching for work or anything like that. You know, when you're younger, that you're hungry for work, and you just want to take everything that comes to you, you know, get all those experiences, you know. But as it is now, I'm a little more slowed down, and I'm just going to kind of just play it by ear. But I think that's a good possibility. I may do a little more acting.
You deserve it. You deserve to have some rest, because you offered us a lot of entertainment, you know. So,
thank you.
Thank you. Tommy, tu veux poser ta seconde question?
Alors, Richard, vous avez travaillé sur une des meilleures séries, enfin en tout cas moi une série que j'aime énormément, c'est Banshee. Et j'ai vu que vous étiez coordinateur plus chorégraphe de combat. En fait, vous occupiez des combats. Est-ce que vous avez fait également des cascades sur Banshee? Parce que dans cette série, c'est rempli de cascades partout, quasiment dans tous les épisodes. Est-ce que aussi vous avez réalisé des cascades?
Yeah, Tommy said he loves the show Banshee. You know, one of the best show in the world. He just loved it, and I too, because it's just incredible. And he would like to know, did you just performed as fight choreography, or also as a stunt and actor sometimes?
I did a little bit of performing on that show, but mostly it was fight choreography. And what was really nice about that show, and probably why the action looks so good on that show, is for a TV show, we actually got a lot of time to rehearse the actors and train the actors for that show. Per episode, we usually got about a month, which is unheard of in television. Yeah, they ran it more. They ran that show more like a film as far as the training. So like TV, typically, you might get the actor a day or a couple days before they shoot because TV moves so quickly, right?
Yeah.
But that show, the system was a little differently. It was set up more like film. So we got a lot of time to train the actors. So that's why that show I thought was really successful for the action. But really fun show. I really enjoyed that show a lot. And I would have gone back and done more, but I started doing the Batman stuff and started getting busy with DC movies. But I really enjoyed that show. So we did some good stuff on it.
Oh yeah,
ah ouais.
A great show. Tommy, tu veux poser encore ta prochaine question?
Alors la prochaine, donc la dernière question, c'était en gros, est-ce que ça vous est arrivé d'avoir très très peur avant une cascade, c'est-à-dire au point de vous dire peut-être que celle-là, si je la rate, est-ce que je vais pas être blessé, voire peut-être même encore pire que ça? Est-ce que ça vous est déjà arrivé de penser à ça sur un film, sur une cascade? Et si oui, sur quel film, quoi? Sur quelle série?
Okay. That's a tough question. Tommy asked, as a stunt, can you tell us, during rehearsal, coordinate, preparing a scene, including, big stunts, have you ever been afraid, even if I know every stunt must be strictly safe, but maybe for one stunt or a movie in particular, have you been like, okay, this is it. What am I doing here? Because you put literally your life on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time.
I have been afraid at times, but that always is leading up to the stunt. And it's always things that are out of my control. If I'm doing something where I have full control of it, I usually don't get very worried. But there's certain things that are like, that I have to depend on other people. And thankfully in the stunt industry, I mean, there's some amazing professionals and we all look out for one another. 99.9% of the time, everything's going to be okay. Like I did a high fall for an episode of Lethal Weapon out of a glass window, right? And it was on a descender, so it was on a thin metal cable attached to my chest. So it was about 100 feet out of a window, right? So it's like leading up to it, you think about it a lot, right? You think about it, and maybe you get a little scared here and there, but you think about it. But once you're ready to do it, once you're in the moment, there's no more fear, because you're concentrating so much on what you have to do. You're so laser sharp focused that fear doesn't even enter it. You're just concentrated. I got to do this at this point, and then this, and then this. I got to make sure this goes. And so you're going through your head everything that you need to do, and you need to act at the same time. And so I think that the fear stuff comes before. Days leading up to the stunt. That's always the worst. When you have a big, dangerous stunt, that's the worst. But once you're doing it, then there's no more fear.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Sure.
And just the fact you say that everyone look out each other. This is really important, in the stunt industry. Richard, can you tell us about, I saw on IMDb that you are in a new project called Bullet Train, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is directed by a stunt.
Yeah, it's a buddy of mine, Dave Leach. Yeah, we actually came up. Dave came a little bit after me in the Inosanto Academy of Martial Arts, but there's been a few of us that have gone on, and there's a few guys that have gone on the directing. Like Chaz Stahelski was a close friend of mine and a training partner. He's directing. Dave's directing. Damon Caro is directing Second Unit for Zack Snyder. He's a very close friend of mine to this day and training partner. So a bunch of us have come out of the Inosanto Academy. Jeff Amata started it all. He was like the first guy to come out of the academy in the 70s and started into stunts. So he kind of led the way for the rest of us. But that's going to be, I think that's going to be a really fun movie. I can't say too much about it, but it's got a great cast. And Dave's really good at finding the comedy in the scene. So I guarantee it's going to be a mixture of really great action and some comedy and some good drama as well. So I think it's going to be a fun movie.
I can't wait for this one. And it's nice to hear that you know each other. Like this is the wild bunch, you know, like the cream of the cream. And it's nice to hear that because we are not aware about it, you know. So it's nice to hear that. Richard, I would like to know a little bit if you can tell us more about, you know, your part as ZEUS in Army of the Dead. Do we gonna see more of that ZEUS in the sequel or something? Because, you know, they talk about a lot of the timeline, and we know the timeline is moving in this movie. So if ZEUS is done, are we going to see him again?
You know what? I don't honestly know. Because you said about the timeline, and there's some stuff that we shot that didn't make the movie. That's some really cool stuff. Like one of my big fights didn't make the movie. It just didn't in the timeline of the movie. It's possible you might see that. It's possible ZEUS may come back. I honestly don't know. Only person who knows is probably Zach and whoever helped him write it. I can't remember the gentleman's name. It would be cool, you know, but I honestly don't know if that's going to happen.
Okay. And the second thing, I'm going to ask Zach, because I'm going to have Zach on the show for sure, and I'm going to ask him. Tell him the fans are demanding ZEUS. Of course, I'm demanding more of Batman, more of ZEUS. Can you tell us about this iconic character, Batman? You know, because you're the official, you know, stunt for Ben Affleck. You know, and you did an amazing job, in particular for the fight scene. You know, can you tell us your biggest, you know, souvenir memories on the set playing Batman? Oh, I just think, honestly, I think just the whole process is my favorite memory. the whole thing, really. I looked at that time that I was working on that movie as the best project I've ever had. You know, I was so lucky to be doing this, and I was so happy to be doing it. I looked at it like I had the best job in the world. You know, like this, like, I don't care who you are, how much money you make, what you're doing. I have the best job in the world right now, you know, because I just love the character that much. And I've loved it since I was a little kid. I used to get comic books when I was little and still get graphic novels today. Love the character. It's, you know, it's all I wanted to be for Halloween was Batman. And then when I got into stunts, I always dreamed that I could do it. I remember sitting in the theater and watching Michael Keaton movie, you know, the first Batman movie. And watching the fights and just wishing that I could do that I could be the one doing the fights. You know, I really wanted it so bad. And then, you know, it actually happened. And it can't get any better than that, in my opinion. I don't think I could ever do a job where I would enjoy the character more. I mean, Batman means that much to me, you know, and I got really fortunate, you know, because it was almost like a perfect storm. Because Damon Carl, who is my training partner for a long time, since 1988, we're all, you know, he's friends with Zach, you know, I'm friends with Zach. So I was able to get an audition. You know, if it's a coordinator that I don't know, I might not get an audition. I probably won't. You know, you just never know. So I was able to get an audition, and then I had to do a second audition, and then, you know, I got the role because I was probably the oldest guy auditioning. So Damon he has to do his due diligence, right? He has to audition younger guys just to make sure that, you know, if somebody's better than me, then they get the job, you know? So I went through that, but I was lucky enough to go through that because my close friend's the coordinator. Zack Snyder's the director who believes that, hey, if you have a mask on, you should do the action as a stunt performer, because, you know, the actors, they talk, you know, that's their thing. They act. You know, do action. So, you know, I was lucky enough to have a director that believed that. I wore the most iconic bat suit ever, you know, the Frank Miller bat suit. You know, I was lucky enough to have that. I was lucky enough that, you know, Damon Carl put an amazing team together around me that made me look really good. I mean, these stunt performers are all superstars. They're fantastic. So I was really fortunate. I mean, it was a perfect combination of things that came together that allowed me to fulfill my dream. And so, you know, just very fortunate, and that'll forever be my favorite job. That's nice to hear. You know, like just like you said, you know, Patrick Tatopoulos doing the Batcave, the Batmobile, Michael Wilkinson, Gerard Marens doing the Batsuit, and then this is the great combination, just like you said, and directed by Zack Snyder. Wow.
Right.
So let me tell you something. We worked on the, you know, the hashtag restore the Snyderverse, because everyone in the world wants more of that vision. And we know, you know, I was a part of the movement to release the Snyder Cut, like since day one.
Oh, nice.
I want more. So so that's why I'm glad to have you, really, to talk to you, because I know you were in the Batsuit most of the time in this iconic warehouse fight, the baddest fight in history of Batman movies. You was just amazing.
Well,
and
thank you.
I hope we're gonna see you again in the Batsuit, and let's just restore the Snyderverse, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, that would be nice. You know, every time I think I've been in it for the last time, I seem to get a chance to get in it again. So I don't know. Anything's possible. And you know, speaking of that, I mean, you and Tommy and the rest of the fans that were behind this, I mean, you guys made this happen, really, because without you guys and without the fans' push, this would have never happened. I'm telling you, it would have never happened. So you guys are definitely responsible for this, you know? So, I mean, that's a lot to be proud of. And, you know, look at what we got, right? We got a performance from Ray Fisher that we never would have seen.
Yeah.
Right?
Amazing.
You know, we got a really great movie that the fans and the critics loved.
Yeah.
We got, you know, the characters fleshed out so much more to make it a more enjoyable movie. Look, Steppenwolf. We understand Steppenwolf so much better. We understand why he's on Earth doing what he's doing. We see, you know, we meet Barry's love interest, you know, that we never would have seen. It's just, you know, there's just so much great things about the movie that that we have now because of the
everything was so much better, of course. Let me tell you a little secret. Let me tell you a little secret. Me and a bunch of fans here in France, we just organized a premiere of the Snyder Cut, but it will be private. So we asked Warner Brothers in France to have the permission to have the film on the theater. In first place, they didn't allow this.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, you know, we're just a bunch of fans. We have the Snyder Cut here, and we just want to see it. You know, we just want to watch it in the theater together, you know.
Right.
And Warner Brothers say yes. So now we're going to have a bunch of fans in the theater in July watching the Snyder Cut.
Awesome.
That would be nice, you know. And Richard, it was very nice to talk to you. You know, you're welcome. You can go back anytime on the Likez TV. You're my guest. And thank you very much, because you are in every single of movies, in every single movies that I saw on IMDb, and I said, oh, that was him, that was him, that was him, and I was just amazed, you know. So just thank you for you're a great human being. So thank you very much for your time, for your kindness. You're the best, and I wish I'm gonna see you again. And but have some rest, because you deserve it. Definitely.
Thank you. I appreciate
thank
it.
You, Richard.
Thank you for having me on the show. It's nice meeting you, John, and nice meeting you, Tommy.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, man. Be blessed, and I'll see you. Bye bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye, Richard.
Bye bye.
I'm sorry. I just lose my words. What I'm gonna say is, yeah. I'm sorry. You know, sometimes my vocabulary, it just let me down. And
no,
this
it's
is
okay.
just
Hey, your English is a lot better than my French, so don't worry about it.
I'm gonna fix it. We're gonna be able. We're gonna see. That's it.